carols with miles of hobby.
Welcome back to Pat and Ken at the Holidays, the 2023 edition.
I'm Pat McDonald, the Chicago Uber critic.
You know, Pat, I used to date a Radio City Music Hall Rockette. You didn't know that, did you?
I did not.
It didn't. We eventually broke up, but I'll tell you, I always looked up to that woman.
Ain't that a kick in the head?
Oh, I'm Ken Candela, the movie wag too.
So Ken, you brought this one into our purview, as if you will. Give us a little background on A Carol for Another Christmas.
It was a TV movie broadcast on ABC. It was sponsored, actually, I think, according to Ben Mankiewicz, commercial free. It was directed by Joseph Mankiewicz, who's Ben Mankiewicz's great uncle, and was really a Hollywood bigwig in the 30s, 40s, and 50s.
He actually did this film because of the failure of Cleopatra the year before, which he had also directed. And he just wanted to get back to a project that was smaller and had a little more prestige, of course, with the great Rod Serling.
It stars a great cast.
Oh my God, one of the best.
Actors. Yeah, Sterling Hayden, Pat Hingle, Ben Gazzara is in it, and Eva Marie Saint.
Yeah, wow.
Peter Sellers is in it. Again, Rod Serling takes a Christmas Carol, and he crafts it around more, at the time, 1964, a more modern sort of treatment.
Well, now, nephew, which one of your many causes brings you out into the snowy night, huh? Some Ubangies with the yaws? Some perverted mass murderer who's seen the light and wishes to assume his rightful place in society?
His name is Daniel Grudge, I believe, which I like that name,
Yeah,
Daniel Grudge, because he really holds a grudge against the world. But basically, he's become a bit of an isolationist. He lives alone in a huge house on Christmas Eve. You know, he's visited by his nephew. They have their differences on, their view of the world now.
Just you put your effort, sweat, and faith into developing the fastest bombers and the most powerful missiles on Earth. They'll provide a lot more security for our young and for the rest of the world's young than all your debating societies, forums, treaties, pacts, and other forms of surrender and handout.
Peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Oh, one guy that we forgot to mention, Steve Lawrence.
Oh my gosh! Well, he plays the Ghost of Christmas Past as a soldier from World War I.
Look, I bump a guy in the street. He bumps me. We stand there, we argue. He gives me lip, I give him lip. But when we stop talking, we start swinging. And then we bleed. Then we got problems, like winding up dead.
And acting right opposite, a seasoned veteran like Sterling Hayden, he held his own.
And it goes into things like exhibitionary sucker brigade for the 18-year-olds that die. I mean, all that great Rod Serling prose. Well, and I have to mention Eva Marie Saint in the Ghost of Christmas Past, because they go to Hiroshima.
Doesn't that suggest to you that from this second on, if the world ever decided to go to war again, it could kill itself off in a couple of afternoons?
And she really delivers it perfectly.
And you mentioned when they go to Hiroshima, I mean, the visuals that they show, without showing things too graphically, but what's implied and what you see is just, there's burned victims who are all children. And they're shrouded in so you don't really see it, but they're singing.
And I just want to mention Pat Hingle too as the Ghost of Christmas Present. Again, an extraordinary performance in a kind of vague role, but still really bringing it home.
Shall I now tell you how many times you've stuffed yourself while 2/3 of the world starved in a cage? Yeah. Throw him a bone.
And Hingle was the type of actor where, you know, one minute he's laughing and then he goes stone cold and just, you know, bursts into anger, you know, and it just, again, fine performances.
We are talking about human want and human need, and this is a fact of life.
The most significant scene, of course, Christmas Future, played by the great Robert Shaw from Jaws.
Yes, yeah.
Very another magnificent character, you know?
Yeah, very Christ-like looking in it, if you look at the way he's depicted.
Comprehending, are you, Mr. Grudge?
There was a war.
At Dandy.
When?
When? On Doomsday. We don't have dates now, but that's how it's remembered.
Leaders emerge. So describe the leader played by Peter Sellers.
Well, first of all, they bring him in on like he's being carried in like Cleopatra by like 6 men.
Right.
And on his hat, there's just the word me.
I am the Imperial Me.
You know, you can't help but think of some of the circumstances we have today where a person is trying to put himself over the country. Like, if you follow me, therefore I'll take care of everything. And that's basically Peter Sellers' character too.
Yeah.
Which is quite wild because, you know, this is what nothing changes, it seems. We just go in cycles.
Where finally the word we will be stamped out and will become I forever.
You know, greet the morning or accept the night. What are we going to do as a society in the world? Only the great Rod Serling could pull this off.
Yeah. So how many holiday bills would you give it?
I'm going to go 3.5 out of 4. I think the dragging nature took the half star off, but I think this is a must-see for anybody who's interested both in the Scrooge legend and Rod Serling.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you. I think I align with you. 3.5. And there's a real message there from, you know, 1964, but it's still very apropos to what the country and the world is going through today. A Carol for Another Christmas.
Ken, for our next Pat and Ken at the Holidays 2023, we're going to go classic Christmas. I thought we had seen every classic Christmas movie, basically something made by the studio before 1960. But no, there is one more that we have never gone over, and that is 1948's Three Godfathers, starring John Wayne, directed by John Ford. 3.
Cut.
Peace on earth, goodwill to men.